Hey everybody, I'm Jeremy Deibler, and welcome to Merridee's. For the past 10 years, Jennifer and me have spent almost every day at this little bakery, getting to meet some really interesting people, having coffee and donuts, and talking about God and life and all kinds of stuff in between. 2 years ago, I began blogging from Merridee's, and this year I decided to turn that blog into a video show so you could get to meet some of those interesting people, and so that I could stop talking about myself for a while. So enjoy. This is Merridee's Monday. Hey everybody, I'm so psyched to have Jason Ingram with me today. When I decided to do this video blog, Jason was the first person I called to come on because you probably sing his songs in the shower and you don't know it. Jason is one of the most, I don't know, what do you call it, well-known, renowned, recorded songwriters in Nashville. And he and his wife Cully and their two kids are good friends with Jennifer and me and our two kids, and we kind of started a community group together and didn't invite anybody else into it, and we've been in book club together, and since we got back from Africa, Jason is one of the funnest people that I've gotten a chance to meet, and I wanted you to meet him. Let's just sort of get the elephant out of the room.
Yeah.
11 double awards? Is
11,
it embarrassing?
11 nominations this year.
That's the most ever, right?
It's the most.
Are you embarrassed?
A bit. Yeah.
I knew you would be.
Yeah.
I knew you would be.
Yeah.
I mean, because you don't really care.
No, I don't. But I'm grateful. You know, like I feel that it's. I feel like that God has to be involved in that. And
no, totally.
Like,
but I know when you write a song, you don't write a song going,
most definitely
this
not.
is a Dove Award song.
No. And Dove Awards are funny because you never know what to do with them once you have them.
Right. I mean, do you display them? I mean, because it's sort of like bragging if you display them, but it's an honor to win them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I only have two, so you're gonna.
Where are they?
I don't know.
See? Yes.
I mean, they're somewhere in my house.
Yeah.
But you'll far surpass me. How many do you have already?
Maybe 7.
7 Dove Awards.
Yeah.
At some point, you may be able to melt them down.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out if I melt them all down and I went to the bank.
What you would get.
What they would give me in return in cash value.
You know, we joke about
probably
it.
$1.
We joke about it, but it is cool. I mean, because it's like your peer group going, look, you're doing a good job at this, which is really cool. I mean, I think you should be proud of it.
That part's awesome, and I just think it's important. I've got a friend of ours named Paul Mabry, who says, what we don't celebrate, we lose. And I think so often, I know guys, like, we're always so sort of driven and on to the next thing. Like, it's important to remember to, like, gosh, God's he's pretty gracious with things like that.
Totally.
And I think he smiles on us at times in our life.
And the other thing, I don't know if you battle with this, but I do, because musicians, we don't really build anything. It's not like we build our house and we live in it for 30 years and we can go, I built that. And I'm not super handyman, and so sometimes I'm like, well, that's like guy thing to do, and I don't get to do that. But I mean, when you write a song that sticks around for a while, you can at least go, hey, I did that, with God's help, of course. But I made that happen. Yeah,
that's sort of the fruit of when we put our hands to the ground. That's what we have to show for it. Yeah.
I mean, I know that you're the thing that you most love is worship songs. And so I'm glad for you that that was like, your band was Delirious, right? That was the thing you loved when you were a kid.
When I was, when I had just graduated college and I was on staff at a church as a worship leader.
Your dad's?
No, that's where I was all through high school and college.
At your dad's church?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then after college, I took a full-time job at a different church in Northern California. And I was really into sort of the vineyard worship songs.
Right.
We lived in a beach town, and so I fell in love with music with an acoustic guitar around a campfire on the beach. And but I remember the day that Delirious Live at the Can released in America.
I remember it too.
It did change my life.
It changed a lot of things about music. And so you went from there to Bible school.
Well, that was right after Bible school.
Right after Bible school. Okay.
Yeah.
And so and this is another interesting thing. You were married at the time to Cully, or were you still dating?
No, I was married.
Okay. Because you guys met when she was 15.
She was 15. I was 17.
And she'd been married, 13, 14 years? That's crazy.
Yeah. We dated 5 to show my age.
Well, I'm with you. I mean, Jennifer and me this will be 16.
Yeah.
And we're still young, though. I mean, we just got married
early. We think we're young. We feel young.
When we tell people we were married 16 years, they look at us like, "Oh, you are older than I thought."
Right.
Yeah. Okay, right. So then you moved to Nashville.
Well, then
you were in a band.
I was in a band, and
we were together at the same time. We just sort of came out.
I think our first album sort of released about the same time. I want to say that was like 97.
Right, yeah.
And in my album, made no ripple in the water, and you guys became massive. But I remember doing like an in-store and seeing your album and ours, and I knew yours was like blowing up and no one cared about ours. And I didn't know you at that point, and I thought I had envy. Like I had
my gosh.
Oh man. And I thought that guy's voice is so cool, and like we don't have anything on those guys.
Yeah, well, you do
I had that experience.
And now look at us.
Now we're friends. But I still have that.
Now we're friends, and I'm asking you to come on my show.
That's good.
Okay, so you moved here, and I mean, was the intent to like make the band thing work, or did you sort of always know I want to write songs?
No, the writing thing was a complete accident, and now I produce a lot as well, which was also a complete accident. Writing songs itself wasn't the accident, but writing for other people was something I never saw, as I never had a vision for. I moved here. I always led worship, but I also had been pursuing an artist career for years, partly with the band for the first few years, and then when I moved here without a band and was just doing as many solo things as I could, and then I ended up in a situation where I was sort of a utility guy for Sonic Flood, and so I was responsible for merch and for World Vision.
Dude, I cannot see that. Yeah. I just can't see you doing it.
Yeah. But in exchange, I had a 20-minute set.
Yeah.
And I got to lead worship for that, and that was a pretty that was a great time for me. Like I made friends that I still have out of that season, and also that sort of began that their second album that they released is called Resonate. I found out that they were calling their album Resonate, so I decided to write a song called Resonate.
Okay.
And I sound checked it one day, and they all heard it and thought, "Oh, that's a good song." And so it probably helped that I had the only song called Resonate, and their album was going to be called Resonate. But that was my first cut, outside of anything that I had ever done. And then somebody after that here in Nashville said, "You should go meet with publishers." And never heard of music publishers, never heard of staff writers, anything like that. But that sort of opened up a new season for me. My first daughter, my oldest daughter, Blythe, was on the way, and it was about that time that I signed to a publishing company in town and stopped traveling.
And that had to feel good, because you have this baby, and you're like, I don't want to be gone all the time.
It felt really good, but it also was a little bit of a death of a dream for me.
Really?
Which, I had my identity for 10 years. Sort of, I just had this artist identity.
Yeah.
it's kind of funny when you travel and do music. Like I think you get overvalued.
You do,
and
because everywhere you go, I mean, CCM music is small.
Yeah.
But everywhere you go in CCM music, people know who you are.
Yeah. So you start to sort of believe that that's what makes you loved and special and worthwhile.
Yeah.
And so when that went away, the first year was, I had this new baby and I had this new sort of career, but it wasn't really working that well.
It wasn't like it is now.
No. And that identity that I had as an artist had sort of fallen as an unmet dream, and so those were good times for me to sort of just redefine myself before God as these things aren't going to be the definition of who I am, but over the years, God was really gracious, and each year the songwriting thing became a bit more important.
I think that's interesting because when I first met you, we lead worship together at our church. We're 2 of the 4 rotating leaders, and so I met Jason in that context as a worship leader. He was one of my worship leaders, and then I went on staff, temporary staff with him. And you seem, one of the things I noticed about you is you always seem to me like you are pushing forward to the next thing. You're always forward thinking, which is sometimes something I fail at. I'm not. I mean, that's why I have to bring people around me that will forward think, because I'm not. I don't just sit around and go, what do I need to be doing next? But you seem to be that guy, and I think it's interesting. Knowing where you've come from, you know what I mean? You just, because right now, I mean, it just seems like everything you do is a hit or turns to gold or whatever. I mean, you're in this band with, your heroes and Delirious. He's in a band called One Sonic Society. Really, really good music that they've written together. You write all these hit songs, you produce these great records, but all of that came out of what you would say is failure, or just
years of failure.
Years of no.
Yeah,
people
years
saying
of no.
Yeah.
And the thing is, failure. I probably experienced 10 years of what would look like failure.
Yeah.
And I'm now in a several year season of what looks like success. But now I'm realizing that it was all favor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All of it.
Right. Totally. I mean, God was answering some prayer by saying no.
Yeah, it was His favor. Matt Redman says it the best. In the highs and in the lows. And it was just the favor of God, and so now I just try to. I am always pushing the next thing, and I am still driven and passionate, and I probably get mixed up in too many things. But I am really aware that. We talk about Dove Awards and things like that. I'm really aware that today I'm going to celebrate that as a favor of God, but tomorrow I might wake up and I might be celebrating the favor of God in a way that looks like sorrow, or a way that looks like loss. And so I think hopefully age is on our side there, even though we both know we're still super young.
Totally.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we got to go. The bakery's opening up. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
I like your beard.
Okay.